Hey, this is Gene. I wasn't really going to talk about the game. I thought we dominated them and we deserved to win. But I have to respond to Mark Goldbridge on his. He did it on United Stand at the end of that game. He said he actually had it in his title that robbed, and he's now in not foot or whatever it's called. I can't say the word. That's football. He's saying now that VAR is a disgrace because Villa should have scored there. And I'm like, these are guys that actually watch the game. They're in England and they don't understand the rules. Once the referee blows his whistle, the ball is done. It's a dead ball. Nothing can be happened after that. So what are you talking about? You could be upset that the maybe you want to say now looking at it that maybe the referee was wrong about the foul, but it doesn't mean anything. Once he blows that whistle, the play is dead. Uh, and they're making this thing that it's costing Aston Villa getting to the Champions League. They played like absolute shit today. They didn't do anything the entire game. Even before their crazy ass goalkeeper came out and took out Rasmus, we were dominating them. There was no way I could see they were going to score in the entire game. And the only reason why they could have scored was because of that. And you know what? Even if they did, I think we probably would have come back and at least got a draw of that game. They were woeful. Nobody should sit there and defend Aston Villa because they didn't show up. They couldn't deal with the pressure that they were on, kind of like what happened to us on Wednesday. And now we got dumbasses like this saying it's a disgrace and VAR is destroying everything and it's going to hurt every team and all this bullshit. Really? The referee made a decision. He blew his whistle when he thought there was a foul there. He thought probably that he hit Bandier's hands, and he thought that, so he hit it, and you want him to do that because if you don't do it and you just give them a goal, now they might go back at that point and they could look at the VAR. They could do that at that point, I guess. But this idea now that, I mean, come on, it'd be one thing if they actually played well, but they didn't deserve anything. We hit the bar and the post 3 times. We could have had 5 goals in that game. And this guy comes out who claims to be a supporter for Manchester United. And if you go online, if you just go on YouTube and you look at his avatar, he's going crazy. Like he's raw. Clearly his real fandom is probably with a team in the Midlands. I didn't know whether it's Forest or Aston Villa, but he's really upset about this, and I don't really understand it. I mean, he's been so wrong with so many things. I mean, the other day I was looking that he was when he talked about McTominay that he needs to leave, and now everybody's like clipping him up saying all this stuff he said about McTominay over the years. He said he's not good enough, good enough, good enough. He just happens to be the best player in Italy, and who's going to play for the Champions League final? It's a team from Italy who might actually beat PSG. This is PSG doesn't win anything usually in Europe, so we'll see. It's like, and then one of those little clips was like, well, he has a DNA, and I'm like, what does that mean? And he went like this, looking around his face, like the DNA of what? So he's also anti-white when it comes to footballers. So I'll leave that at that. But this just craziness. He did this right after the game when he was talking about on the United Stand. He was doing the same thing, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Once the referee blows the whistle, the game is done. It's dead. It doesn't matter where that ball goes after that. It's just, and you can't go back to VAR and review it because he blew the whistle. You could be upset with the referee making a poor choice there, that he was wrong, but that's the issue. We have humans that are referees. They make mistakes, and again, it looked like to him because Bandier had his hands on it, and all of a sudden his hand was off of it. He probably thought that the guy hit his fan, right, and so that's why he hit the foul. It happens all the time. People try to do things like that to get off the goalkeeper when they have the ball like that. They needed to get a goal because they wanted to get the Champions League. Even at that point, a draw would have been okay. But this idea that we're gonna defend the way that they played, they were absolute horde today. They had 4 or 5 opportunities at the end of the game when we were up 2-0. But before that, they didn't do anything the entire game. So this guy's a support. He might make a little statement and all this up saying, oh, maybe they could change it and they can tweak the VAR. They can't, though. Once the referee blows the whistle as a foul, the game stops. That will never be able to change that in any rule book. They'll never able to change that. So to get so upset about this, or say the PGO BML will have to now come out and apologize to Aston Villa for what? Because a human referee made a bad call that unfairly might have led to a goal, and it's like, seriously, do you not understand what the rule actually means? I don't know. What do you do? You'd let him, if he thought in his mind that he fouled the goalkeeper, should he just let it go and then go let the VAR decide really what it was? Are we going to allow referees to make decisions on the field? Or are we just going to make everything go up to VAR? Who have humans that look at that, and sometimes they make mistakes as well. They did it with Bruno when they sent him off, and the VAR looked at it and sent him off, and then they came back and said it was wrong. That's not really, but that more of a subjective thing where you say whether it's enough to be sent off. This isn't. Once he blows the whistle because of a foul, it stops. It doesn't come back because they went through and they called it offsides when it went in, and they come back and say, "Oh no, he was onside. We're going to give you the goal," because the game continued on. If you want to let everything go, regardless, you don't want the referee on the field to make any decisions and just let it up to VAR, the games will be 500 yards or 5 hours long. So anyway, I just had to bring that on there. Again, I thought we played okay, dominated them the entire game, even against 11 versus 11. We did. They have they should have no complaints. They didn't show up. That's why they didn't get the Champions League. All they needed was a draw. They didn't do it. So fuck them. Fuck everybody else. The shit that we've had to go through this year, the crap that went against us, the injuries and all that stuff. I do not want to hear a team that went in there and did not even show up say shit to me, and certainly a guy that has the biggest fan channels in the world when it comes to soccer, and he supports Manchester United saying this shit. Anyway, I'm gonna let it go at that point. You guys have a good rest of your weekend and have a good day. Bye.